What's up, everybody? It's Soren Baker here on Unique Access Entertainment. As always, it's an honor and privilege to be here with you. And today, man, it's an amazing day. We got Co-187, aka Big Hutch. Thanks for coming through, man.
Man, you know you got it. You know how I do it. You know,
Always,
I gotta represent for my main guy, who put me into play. So,
yes.
You know.
And Hutch and I are here today for the Eazy-E street naming here in Compton. So Hutch, man, you know, you knew Eazy back in the day, before everything really blew up,
right.
As things blew up, after they blew up, all that.
Right.
So to see this happening now, when you think back to how N.W.A and everybody got hated on, Above the Law got hated on, to see it come full circle, what does that mean to you as a person and as an artist?
Well, I think it's incredible because, like, Eazy-E dreamed about all this shit. Like, we didn't really even believe when he was talking like that, to be honest, when it first jumped off. You know, to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this underground rap, we're gonna do this reality rap, and it's gonna blow up and be commercial, basically, like in its own sense. Wasn't no radio, wasn't really no outlets to really push hip hop in general. So really, he defied the laws of gravity, really, but it was just his beliefs. I tell you that for real, because we was hustling, we didn't really believe in it on a grand scale. When N.W.A started making real money off straight out of Compton, that's when it kind of made a little sense, but we still was caught up in the streets as Above the Law. And like I tell the story, you know, he called me and was like, hey man, you know, you're doing a whole lot out there, man. Like, I'm trying to sign you. I'm like, well, you know, if you can, I'm making this much a day. If you can show me that. He said, man, bring your ass out on the tour, man. You can't be in prison on me, like, you know what I'm saying? So we came out on a straight out of Compton tour, seen the whole layout, and the rest is history, man. And Above the Law, the birth of Above the Law. At that time, it was the original family that's at the table. Is only three people. It's JJ Fad, Above the Law, N.W.A, and then D.O.C is a spinoff of that.
Right.
You know, that's the original set, you know what I mean, at the time. And we thinking like, okay, we just some kids coming up out of Southern California, you know, trying to rap to get out of where we at, right? So for me to see it on like where you getting the street named after him, it's his dream to take what we were doing that far.
Yeah.
You know, it was his dream. It was really his dream. Like we had a great opportunity to benefit from that dream, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
And I know from talking to you over the years and many other people that I want you to break down the significance of saying Compton so much and putting Compton on the map as a city, because growing up in Maryland, I never heard of Compton.
Right.
Growing up in Maryland, I never heard of Pomona that you all put on.
Well, I will say this, for a person who never went to college, who just was basically a street hustler, he knew about marketing from that aspect, because he always told us, he's like, look, when you do it, Compton is a brand. When you do it, this is a brand. The N.W.A is a brand. JJ Fad, Above the Law is a brand. When you do it like that, he knew how to brand already. I don't know how, but he just knew how to brand something already, like just off the rip, like, oh, we're gonna all wear black, or no, y'all gonna be coming out of the courthouse, y'all gonna be doing this, y'all gonna dress up, y'all, you know what I mean? He thought of all those things, like he told us, because we kind of mirrored N.W.A. When you talk about like when he said, look, when we bought straight out of Compton, it was the brand Compton, basically. He said, now, y'all not like us, y'all like the money guys in the hood, the hustlers in the hood, so we gonna brand hustling in music with Above the Law, you know what I mean? And that's how he kind of came up with we were already above the law, but he kind of came up with that, and I say that going into what you asked him, how he branded Compton. That's his vision. He could have said anything, he could have just left it N.W.A, but he wanted to brand the whole persona, the whole life of Compton and how the climate was at that moment.
Right.
So when you was in Maryland, you could feel how Compton was.
Yeah. And when I first came to Compton, the thing that shocked me was how small it was.
Absolutely.
So when you were coming from Pomona into Compton and seeing it, what was it about this city? Like, what were your impressions, the first ones coming down here?
Well, for us hustling, because we hustled through Pomona, through South Central, through Compton. So in the streets, we always had that. That's like the connect, right there you go. The pipeline, basically. So, you know, so to us, it was always like a hub, a hub of this, going to the south, you know, a hub going to the South Bay, a hub going to a point from South Central into this at the South Bay, and then we out in LA County. So for us coming in, it was like a different version of us. Because Pomona's like Compton. It's like kind of like a small little thing. It's the last city in LA County. So it's kind of like it got that feel, you know what I mean? So we already knew that, hustling in the streets, but to make it big like he made it, it's his vision. I'm gonna keep saying that to y'all. That was his vision to make it a small place seem like it was a metropolis, basically.
Right.
You know, and that had us, when we came out, we branded Pomona South Central, we branded all that. See that? There you go. Yeah.
There it is. So, as far as the business mind, since he was so great at that, he was a great artist, he was a great businessman. But what do you think that the perception was as Ruthless was growing? Because I think people forgot that Eazy-Duz-It was so popular, that he was such a big artist because N.W.A got so big.
Right.
So why do you think Eazy as an artist sometimes doesn't get as much recognition as maybe Eazy the businessman?
I think because he was a businessman. I think because he never really wanted to be in the front, but he was in the front by default. You know what I mean? So I think he never pressed that I'm Eazy-E and, you know, I'm a hit rapper. He kind of like wanted to be in the back, but he had to be in the front. Really, if we look at what he actually done, is he done what a real businessman is supposed to do. Whatever his role is, he played it, even being the owner. You know what I mean? He would always tell me, Dre, Yella, all the rest of us collectively, Ren, all the writers, Q, everybody, like, y'all the artists. I'm just a great idea that worked for us. You guys are the guys so he was that humbled, is what I'm saying, to the fact that he needed all these great people around him, you know, for us creative to do that. So I think that's why he wanted all of us to shine harder than him, really. I never understood it, but that's what he wanted. But now as a business person, I get it now, because that's how you're supposed to look at it as a business person.
Right.
Is whatever product you pushing is supposed to shine like you or even brighter, you know? Entree, when we, because I was his liaison at the time, when we bought cocaine, you know, me and Law bought cocaine. We developed the cocaine sound, and we bought the new sound of G-Funk and all that stuff. He let us do what we wanted to do. Then he told me about a group out of Cleveland called Bone Thugs and Harmony. He told me about the Ad Band Clan. He told me about that's will.i.am and them coming to the table and all that. And it was all different because he had a vision like this. He said, look, Hutch, he said, man, I know it ain't gangster like us, homie, but somebody like that shit. So that's when I started learning that he was a straight up businessman. He never even wanted to be, and that's why I think he gets overshadowed. My biggest hurdle, Soren, is this. If he done that, people need to represent Eazy-E as what he truly was, because all these people that you named that are in Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or getting accolades and named legend by their name, like me, myself, he's supposed to get the credit first because he wanted us to be legendary. He wasn't like a guy who wanted to be in the front and make everybody feel like they wasn't nothing. He was really a guy. That's why he didn't get it like that, because his plan was I want everybody in the front. You know, it's almost like the Wiz, you know what I mean? In a good way though, because he was passionate about that part of it. He was passionate saying, it's funny, we had a meeting at a doc video. So we all in the room. He said, man, we're gonna be the greatest label in the world. Shit, I got 2 powerhouse underground rap groups. I got the D.O.C, I got JJ Fat. He was rolling down and said, he's like, man, we just trying to get off the block, man. What the fuck you talking about, homie? We just trying to make some legal money and shit. But that was his vision. You know, he never wanted to be in the front like that, you know?
And one of the other things we always hear about that I wanted you to really speak on now that Eazy's getting honored with the street is that he always seemed to be so quiet and low-key.
Yeah.
But obviously you spent a lot of time and talked to him about it.
Yeah.
What was his conversation like in general? Was he just quiet around people he didn't know? Was he quiet around you guys too and then would just drop some gems? Like, how was that?
Well, like I say all the time, the greatest thing happened to me in my life is Eazy-E. My biggest influence is him, my dad, my uncle, on all them different notes, right? Okay. Equally yoked, I would say. Because the shit that he would always tell me was the realest shit that anybody could tell you, because he was my friend first, and he was my business, and we were in business together, but he didn't never waver on that part, is what I'm saying. At the time, it was reality rap, let's say it like that. It wasn't gangster rap yet, it got labeled after it came out, right? But what his biggest rules at the label was, and he used to say, yeah, we do gangster shit, but we don't want to say we Bloods or Crips, because we want Bloods to buy shit and we want Crips to buy shit. Because at that time, that's at the all-time high. So you can't split the bean if you really want to get the real paper. That's what he taught us. Like, so don't say that. We can wear colors, we can do whatever, but don't say it. You know what I mean? That's because we don't want to offend nobody. And at that time, you could highly offend motherfuckers. Right. You know what I mean? Because you only work in the neighborhoods and swap meets.
Really doing it at the time.
Yeah, exactly. And you only work in the neighborhoods and the swap meets and shit like that. So motherfuckers gonna be offended. They hear you saying this on the record and that on the record. In the late 80s, early 90s, they gonna be offended. It ain't like now. You know what I'm saying? Your show gonna shut down, everything gonna get shut down, and Eazy knew that, you know?
Okay. Well, there it is with Big Hutch, man. Really appreciate you, as always, coming through.
You know
Unique
it.
Access.
There we go.
In the beginning, hip-hop was ruled by the East Coast. Then the West Coast rose to prominence thanks to gangster rap.
Straight out of Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube.
Hip-hop changed the world. Gangster rap changed the narrative.
I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
And then changed the world again.
Cause I'll come and take your life away.
The history of gangster rap features unheard stories, unseen photos and documents, all with exclusive interviews from the founders and players who shaped gangster rap.
I think a real gangster rapper has to scare you a little bit.
The history of gangster rap written by veteran rap journalist Soren Baker. In stores now.
Yo, what up? This is DJ Quick. Be sure to pick up my homeboy Soren Baker's book, The History of Gangster Rap, if you really want to know what we do.